some kind of entity was in this trailer house, used to slap me, hit me, that sort of stuff. Back then, it's all kind of movies now. Back then, people thought you were crazy. So one particular time when this guy had left going to work, I was just like this, cover over me, little sheet. When the light hit, I saw her sitting in a chair, just like we were, just something in a black robe, just like this, just staring. But you couldn't see the face. It was a Grim Reaper. It didn't dawn on me till after I wrote this book that everything I wrote about is I witnessed, is I seen, is part of me.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box. I get to sit down with Leonard Clifton today. I remembered, even though because I just read it. Just kidding. I know your name. I just so bad with names, like we were saying, man. And Leonard Clifton, I feel like, is gonna be a name we're gonna have to remember, man. We're gonna remember without any kind of need. And we've talked before. I've met you like on probably 3 or 4 occasions.
Yes. Before even Dr. Chillfest, I think that's when we first actually intimately like met and talked. Dinner. That was like a 7-hour affair.
Yes.
So
I gotta say something, man, because you are gonna be, I believe, and I'm just predicting this, a very, very inspirational story, because I kept running into you like over a couple of years, and every time, man, you had a positive attitude about promoting what you believe in. You always were ready. You were always ready to talk about your art. You were persistent, man. Right? And like,
you have to be.
It does feel like something's building with you. And I know you said some stuff's kind of developing, some opportunities. I just want to say, like, the reason I think you're going to be super inspirational is because persistence, man. I'm sure when you get into the story, like how many times people probably try to like, push you off your journey.
Off my game. Yeah. Haters. Bad energy. I definitely, I know I'm pretty sensitive. I've learned, I feel like Nikola Tesla in some ways, because I said Nikola Tesla, he would never shake your hand because he didn't want to absorb your energy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In case it was negative?
Case negative, so I think it would just kind of throw off his thought process in some way, because I feel like we're kind of antennas. We're always absorbing things, information. I'm not an introvert, but I am an introvert.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. So when someone's kind of, trying to throw off what you're doing, I always brush it off. I always ignored them. I did it my whole life. I mean, just growing up, I was born in Texas, small little rural town called Kuntz, Texas. And
Kuntz?
Kountze. Yes. And it was pretty, you can say racist. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Say it, man. I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, growing up hearing the N word, it's like almost like your name.
Was it like an all white town?
Yeah, no, it was actually black and white. Segregated, areas. But when I used to, play, everything was cool. So I always had up this kind of like you just ignore it, even though they
had to.
You had to. I always been that way my whole life, almost like a Forrest Gump type approach. So growing up as a kid in Texas, one thing I do say I respect, because you learn to respect your elders, no matter what race, color, or whatever. Yes ma'am, no ma'am, that type of thing. And we played, but that's before there was video games and all those things. You played, baseball, football, you run. These little dirt roads I grew up on. I mean, I used to bale hay, feed hogs, ride horses as a kid. And but around that time in this little town, I had a girlfriend. Years later, she came there went to go visit some family people, and she felt like this whole place felt cold, like in a spiritual way, but like kind of like an ominous type of feeling. And I know my whole life I've been protected. I was saying to Josh earlier, as a kid, I remember playing. I don't know how many times I almost been bit by rattlesnakes. As a kid, I remember this time where me and my friends running the tracks, and they were ahead of me, and all of a sudden I look down. Even though the snakes, they blend in with the surroundings, and it was already in strike mode. I jumped over it.
Wow.
It was a time that we were going to go swimming in this little pond swimming hole. I'm running, taking off my shirt, have my shorts on, and something told me stop. I stopped, grabbed the rock, threw it in the pond. A nest of water moccasins rose up. A nest of water moccasins. I would have been killed.
Yeah.
Easily.
Are water moccasins poisonous?
They're very poisonous.
Should I know that?
They're extremely poisonous.
What do they look like? Let me make sure I
see. They're snakes.
So water moccasins are snakes. So Leonard, tell me how you grew up. I know you're talking about your childhood, but like paint the picture of how you grew up. What was the situation? Because I know that you mentioned, and I want you to like segue into like how you, I guess, came up with the book idea and how it relates to like your childhood.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
paint the picture of how you grew up.
I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, my great grandmother was Cherokee Indian. I just found out maybe about 2-3 years ago. My great grandfather was Irish, so multicultural.
Right.
Most Black Americans are multicultural.
Right.
With the slave trade and whatnot. But I know my great grandmother, and now I know my great grandfather who I never met before. But so as a kid, I just remember she's telling me stories of what she did as a child playing. All those things. I'm gonna get to that segue into the book. Kind of stuck with me. But the reason why I mentioned like with the snakes and the water moccasins, and the reason why I stopped, because I've always been protected. So now I'm gonna segue into this book. So I'll get to that. So I grew up in Oxnard. I went to school in Santa Barbara, and I was a theater arts major. I was going to transfer to UCSB, but I got a part in a film called Amistad, which was Steven Spielberg. And so that movie changed my life a lot. Back to, Amistad was a story about, it was a slave revolt from Cuba to America. So they were trying to get back to Africa, but they ended up in America. So it was a big court trial. This is Matthew McConaughey, Morgan Freeman, Djimon Hounsou. That was his first role. He's a big actor now. So the scene I had with him was there. I started out as an extra, and they bumped me up. So this is the reason why I want to bring show and tell. This is from the movie Amistad. This is from the set. Steven Spielberg. That was my first role.
Oh wow!
And these are
young
chains.
Man.
These are literally so.
Oh, these are the chains.
The chains from the Middle Passage. So that would really kind of woke me up because I grew up on the like surfer guy, I never read anything about
like a surfer guy.
Yeah, I grew up on the beach. Yeah, so I never read
this is like Pulp Fiction, where we're gonna bounce from like beginning to end to middle to beginning. To
yeah,
and that's okay. I love Pulp Fiction. By the way. So I'm totally down to do that. I love tangenting. I have to say a random comment.
Yeah.
I just had a vision of you, like you're like the type of person to. How do I say, curate a museum? But it doesn't have to be a museum. It's, I guess, your story.
It's my life.
And whatever revolves around that story.
Yeah.
Be it your book, the acting roles you had. Like, I'm just saying, man, I don't know, right? I don't know what kind of a part this was. Extra, big, doesn't matter. The fact that you have this picture and you bring the chains, it is the chain. And then
I had a part. I still get residuals from this movie.
It's like, I want to come visit the Leonard Clifton Museum already.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing if I were to go to your place, we're going to see a lot of like visual.
Yes. That's why, someone did say that. I am a very visual person. So, but
that's how you come up with, because can I be honest? I haven't read the book. I'll be honest. Okay?
No, go right ahead.
But I have, over the last month, since you gave me the books to Ben, signed to Ben, right? Yeah. I've opened it up a few times to random chapters. Only, I'll be honest, because I want to see like, well, what is this? Is it good? What is it just because someone writes a book?
Yeah.
And every paragraph has been excellent, right? So I'm like, all right, this is dope, man. I want to like, Like, and so now that we're really getting to sit down and get into the depth, man, I'm just curious. Like, I want to get to the layers of you, how this all came about. I feel like there's like a depth to it.
Yeah, it is a depth to it. So that's why I'm doing a little show and tell. So
take it away, Leonard.
This picture here.
I'm going to describe what we're looking at. Since we're
this is Peyton Reed and me. So Peyton Reed was our director of Bring It On. So I was in the original Bring It On, the first movie. Okay, play football. So it has that element of high school football, cheerleader. It has that kind of, that culture in the book.
Right.
So this is when we had, I think, 16th anniversary for Bring It On. And I was told him that, hey, that movie had a big influence on me writing this book. So it came about in 2012. I met this beautiful Australian Greek girl in Vegas. She was my muse.
Yeah.
And
do tell.
She was my muse.
Is this your girlfriend now or no?
No, she's married with two kids in Australia.
All right. Is she still your muse?
No. Well,
sure?
I mean, she was the muse for the original story.
Okay.
So, I mean, I have to give her that.
All right.
I have to give her that.
Sure, man.
Karina.
She played an important part in
She played, she actually sparked it. But it all started from, I was named after Leonard Nimoy. Spock.
Why is that?
So my family loved, my mom loved, Star Trek.
All right.
So, I was the first to have a book signing at Barnes & Noble for Black History Month.
Is this you signing your book? This book?
The first book. That book.
The book one. Book one. And E, the Soul Reaper. I'll get into that later. Yeah.
Reason why I created that. So when I'm going to give you a synopsis of the book. So Alan King is an unassuming black teenager living in a blue-collar family in Miami, Florida. After discovering a magical crystal necklace, he finds out he's a Atlantean prince. Suddenly things change for the shy teenager. He gains the powers of telepathy, teleportation. He has the ability to speak to sea animals. Along with a beautiful Greek goddess, his orphan best friends, and zany uncle, Alan helps keep the earth safe as they fight against his mortal enemies and attempt to restore his kingdom, the lost city of Atlantis.
Bro, can I just tell you that? I love that is, I'm pretty sure, word for word, the back cover of book one.
That is, yeah.
I just read that today, by the way.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. I love that too. I'm like, dude, I love the story.
Yeah.
This is interesting. All right, so go ahead.
So it came about when.
So you wrote that summary.
Everything
is you.
Yeah, everything is me.
All right, man. Well done.
So when it came about, when I met my muse, but it still didn't dawn on me. But I'm going to Leonard Nimoy. He had a show called In Search Of, and I remember as a kid, they used to play reruns. It was In Search of Atlantis, and it talked about everything about, Plato talked about the rise and the fall of it. And at the end of the segment, they had these black kids in the Caribbean playing. And from what I remember, it was Leonard Nimoy's voiceover saying, "Are these the descendants of Atlantis?" That always stood with me ever since I was 8, 10 years old. So you fast forward. So when I meet my muse, it just sparked. That spark hit, and it was like fire. And I've been my own boss for 12 years.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the muse part.
Yeah.
Sparked. What happened? Can you talk about it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I literally.
What do you mean muse sparked? You just skipped over that.
Yeah.
That's like the best part.
Well, I mean, I literally, fell head over heels for
okay,
her.
so basically, if I could just tell me, because this is really interesting, man. Like, you found, motivation and like vision in seeing kids that weren't white being featured and being princes and being something great, and you found like something in that to like motivate yourself, believe in yourself.
Yes,
you told me that before, man. I thought that was really interesting because there's, like I said, there's layers to like this book. It's not just a science fiction book. It's encapsulating like your struggle, what you went through as a kid, finding hope in just one person talking about somebody you could relate to finally. And just that little thing made you go, oh, I can do that. I was just watching this lady that was talking about Tina Turner and how she saw Tina Turner growing up, and it was finally someone that looked like her. And she goes, oh, I can do it. And I'm like, wow. Because when I'm just saying, a white boy growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't understand color, man. I did not know that this is being done to people, man. Because I didn't.
You didn't go through it. Yeah,
running the streets with all my friends that were from all over the place. Man. Yeah. So I didn't get to experience that. Because that's like, you're basically, somebody's deciding that you, because of how you look, and it's obviously on your skin, so they can just point you out whenever they want. It's nothing you could hide. You can't just like blend in. And at any point, no matter where you fucking go, you could be in somebody's fucking yard and somebody could decide they're about to fucking call you the worst word. And it's like, really? Like, so I can't go anywhere. Like, that's fucked up. Because if you're from another country and you're white, you could kind of blend in, at least get a break.
No, you blend in. Well, one thing I found out with what happened with this COVID, a lot of people's been awakened with the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. That's the first time I even protested myself. And that's what connected me to Free, which connected me to Dr. Chill. I met a lot of like-minded people when I actually started protesting. And more people want to interview me. Like, they want to know, why do you go out there? The first date with the things that happened at the Grove, with police cars on fire. I was in the middle of all of that. I was actually stopping white kids from vandalizing. I'm like, they're going to think I did this shit. They're like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, they're going to think I did this. You're doing this. But everyone, the world, or whoever, if it's not videotaped or shown, they're going to think someone of color did it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And it's a Korean.
It's the easy narrative.
Yeah, it's a Korean market. Across the street from where I live between the Beverly Center Grove area. And when I was in there, someone stole a case of beer. So I closed the door. I didn't know when I left, because I actually went to go back in there. My girlfriend, Niaz, she was like seeing the stuff I was posting on social media. It's like, get out of there. The people don't have masks on, because there was no vaccination and stuff like that. But I had my mask on. I'm like, I'm in it. And when I went home. I took a quick shower because it was so freaking hot. We shut down La Cienega and 3rd, where the Beverly Center intersection. And what I liked, how everyone was cordial when the ambulance was going through. We opened it up so it didn't get to the hospital. Still beautiful, protesting before all the vandalism stuff happened.
Right, man.
So when I jumped back into it, I couldn't get to the Grove. I was actually trapped in this little pocket, seeing these police cars on fire. I posted stuff on video. People saying, "Who do you protect? Who do you protect?" And then all of a sudden, you seeing to the right of me, the next intersection, you seen like a SWAT team, literally, with the shields, everything. I was like, what the fuck? Helicopters overhead. That's what I was like, okay, it's time to go home. It's like, am I gonna make it home? You know, because they don't know who's good and who's bad.
Yeah. Did you get that feeling like this?
Oh yeah, I felt the anxiety, really all that stuff. Yeah,
really, because it could. Yeah, you got mobs of people. You know, you get with the wrong group. Cops come in.
And you don't know the group.
Things flare up. Right.
You don't know
you can't even trust the cops, let alone the group.
But so I did make it home. But after that, I met so many like-minded people who protest, because I wasn't at the age to protest Martin Luther King and all that. But so in the book, in book 2, Alan's racially profiled by cops and security guards, but it has to do with the billionaire guy who's trying to get the antagonist character. Right. He's a hybrid reptilian. So back to how this story came about. I got tired of seeing Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight. That's what was really the spark that made me write it. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna make one up, and it just came to be a floodgate. And I've heard many people speak about this who are really great writers. They say they all download. Look, I already knew all this stuff. It was already in me. But like you said, I'm telling part of my story, but the supernatural stuff, I just inherently knew. Like I was telling you, what I've been protected. I could have died from the water moccasin and whatnot. I'm going to show you this picture. What do you see this picture behind me? That's in the Great Barrier Reef.
Well, I see your hat in the way. What do I see?
What do you see?
Wow. Oh, wow. There's like something behind. What is that? Like a net or something behind you? It's the boat. I mean, first of all, that's the first picture that struck me when I came outside, right?
What do you see formed in the water? That's, do you see
formed in the water?
Would you see any figure? Do you see any kind of, looks like a person that's
in the water?
That's part of the water. That's part of the water.
Right, because I definitely see you. It's a great shot. You look great.
Josh sees it. right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a being. That's a being.
Yeah, what is that? Well, there's a light off of it where I'm sitting, but I see something like it could be sort of an eyeball.
And it's smiling. That's a figure.
So
formed in the water.
And that's the original picture.
That's the original picture.
So you interpret that as what?
I interpret that, like I said before, I've always been protected. And that
I just saw something else.
There's quite a few things.
You see to the right, upper right of you.
Yeah.
It looks like something with a hood on, and the arm is like coming across your snorkel. There's a hand next to the top left of your snorkel coming up from their shoulder. It does look like that, actually. Do you see that?
Yeah, I've seen many things in there.
And then what about the bottom where the boat is? That's just the boat, right?
Yeah, that's just the boat. Right. So this picture was taken.
That's supposed to be.
But so what happened? I'm kind of reason why I'm going to this shot. So after I did the Barnes & Noble Grove, I did Comic-Con, and my mentor, Reginald Rutherford, he was a big producer. He promoted Prince, Michael Jackson. He actually helped me get the Barnes & Noble book signed. He said, you have to do Comic-Con. When I did the Comic-Con, people was like, who are you? That's when I knew I had something tangible, and I decided to do, the original book was 3 books in one. I decided to travel around the world like the characters in the book. So the first place I went to was Australia. I could tell you my Australian muse. So when Alan teleports from Miami to Australia, when the billionaire guys are actually trying to get this, they kill his brother, they kill his sister-in-law, but he thought that was his mother and father at the time, but they were protecting him. He's literally the last prince of Atlantis. So I said, I'm going to walk in the footsteps just like the characters. So I wanted to talk about the effects of climate change, like I mentioned before, like what I was saying to Josh, activism. So when Alan in the book, when he's in the Great Barrier Reef with Athena and his family, Jake and Francisco, they grew up in group homes. But when Alan's in the water, he sees actually in real time the changing of the climate that's happening, the bleaching of the coral. So I wanted to do that. So I died with marine biologists in the Great Barrier Reef. So I was literally, at one point, we went to certain areas in a wetsuit, and you see me here. No
How
wetsuit.
did you get yourself to be able to go there and do that? Financially, time-wise?
Yes. Well, I had my own
tangent?
business. I've been an insurance broker for 12 years, and I had a really big client, a Sriracha company. I was actually the only brother who took care of their benefits, so it afforded me. I had other clients, too. It afforded me to work from home. So that's why I was able to write 18 hours a day for 6 months straight. Literally, I was drained. That's why I was
write the 3
books? There was 3 books in one.
And okay.
So when
18 hours a day, you said?
18 hours a day. It was just a floodgate. It just came
7
to me.
hours a day, 7 days a week.
7 days, 6 months. For 6 months.
And a lot of rewriting. Tell me about the process. Just
well, a lot of rewriting. I did it all myself. I had a publisher in New York who was interested in it.
Can I just ask you, did you... Just please, if you don't mind. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Did you see it all? Like
I wrote it like a movie in my mind. Everything.
Like you already oh my God.
The music, the score, everything.
Shut the hell up.
Everything was a movie in my mind.
You have the music and the score already in your mind.
Everything.
And when did you start traveling the world to do this? Like
that was 2 years later. After I had the book signed at the Grove, I did it after I had the first Comic-Con I did. This is the picture here. I'm actually in the left shark mascot costume. So I had sewn the book cover on it, and we went to Comic-Con San Diego, the mecca of all Comic-Cons. And when we did this, people was like, "Who are you?" Kevin,
and what's the shark? Is that just random or to get attention?
He rides dolphin whales and sharks.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a shark.
It's a shark.
That's dope.
Yeah, right. It's a shark.
Who made the drawings, by the way?
I met a guy through another friend of mine. God bless his soul. He was my big brother, Christoph St. John. He was on Young and the Restless. His dad was going to be the original Shaft. So I would tell him the stories as I was writing. I'll just go to his house. He used to live here in the Valley. And he's like, man, just keep writing, because he was loving as I was telling him. So that was also my fire of having a support system of my friends. It was right. Like, it was like my brother, like, keep writing, because he was really digging as I was telling about the story arc. So where I'm going with this. So a mutual friend who used to go to, watch football games at his house, I met. It's like, oh, my brother does this. So he created the first book cover for that. As everything I envision is on these covers, and he did it pretty close to where I want it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So 2 years
So 2
ago,
years
you started traveling.
So 2 years.
How did you come up with that? Why did you decide to do that?
Because I decided, you know what? I wanted. This book's never been about me. I always want to inspire, especially kids of color, to see, hey, if I can do this, you can do this.
Right.
That was my real spark. The reason why I wrote these books, because I want them to read themselves in it. But the funniest thing, my audience were white who were reading the books. I think now more black kids are reading sci-fi and things like that, because mostly white kids are reading like Harry Potter and those type of books. So when I wrote it, I was trying to reach them because I was watching a lot of hip hop videos at the time. I was trying to have like slang, like different lingo, how they speak some of the characters. Even the Cuban character, Francisco, and Jake O'Connor, who's the white character. They're a band of brothers with Alan. Just like I grew up. I grew up with, black friends, white friends, Asian friends. You name it. I'm like Captain Kirk. I dated. If you're fine, I'm dating you. That's the way. That's me, and these are the characters.
All
in the book.
The colors of the rainbow, baby.
All the colors of the rainbow.
Why would you deprive yourself of one of the beautiful colors of the rainbow? It doesn't make sense to me. But
it's funny you mentioned rainbow. He teleports through a rainbow cloud, so it's a wormhole. Yeah. The rainbow is a wormhole.
Right. I was also part of the miscellaneous group in my high school.
Yeah?
Yeah. I went to like a very academic preppy school. It was like 90% Asian. So it was like I had a lot of Asian friends, but I also had the two black guys, the two Mexican guys, the one Russian guy, you know what I mean? Like we were the one Filipino guy that didn't want to hang out with the rest of the Asian.
Yeah, I had a Vietnamese friend.
And some Asian guys that were like, oh, you guys are cool.
Yeah, I just love going to his house because his sister was super fine.
Right. Just like I had a big fetish, man, for Asian girls. Man.
Well, I never had a fetish, anything like that. But
I think it was for me at the time. Now it's just one of the colors of the rainbow. That's all.
Exactly. But anyone was fine. I was just pretty much like, I would check them out.
Right, exactly.
I was a teen,
You're an equal opportunity admirer.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. Well, California. That's what I love about California. Being a melting pot. My girlfriend Nia, she's Persian. Yeah. Beautiful woman. Yep. A great heart. So what I was getting at.
So you were telling me why you started traveling.
I decided
to do something crazy like that.
I decided because the book
brilliant, by the way.
The book was already written. I already talked about this in. I've done radio interviews. I've done all kind of stuff. They say, you already wrote the books. I'm like, yes. But when I decided to do the 3-book series, which I always wanted to do, I had to split them up, and I wanted to add more detail to the story, the brick and mortar. So you read it's like this actually does exist. That's why I decided to travel and showcases that, and I want to do it social media, like a documentary, because I wanted actually kids of color to see, like, hey, I did this, you can do this.
Right.
So going to Australia, then after that, I go to Greece. I stayed across from the Zeus temple because Zeus narrates the story. Athena, she is the niece to the Greek goddess Athena. So I went to Acropolis, and Athena in book 2 battles her aunt in Acropolis because Athena wants her to train with her, but she's training with Alan's ancestors, ghosts, to become a warrior. So the Greek goddess Athena is pissed. You should be training with me. So they battle. And then she respects her. I go to Santorini. So this is the funniest thing. I stayed in a 17th century castle in Santorini. I'm the only brother. Remember the movie got Belle? What was it? Belle, Beauty and the Beast. It's literally like that. Literally like that. Like this village, the citadel. And you're hearing donkeys screaming, cats hissing, fighting, whatever else they're doing. And it's just like one little narrow path to get up to the castle. It was Airbnb. I got lost a couple times up in there. And that was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever done in my life. And then I do the cruise on a yacht, on a catamaran. It didn't dawn on me until I came back. Maybe about 6 months later, I watched In Search of Leonard Nimoy. Literally, I was doing the same things he was doing when he was talking about Atlantis. I'm literally was following the same footsteps from my perspective.
Wow.
That blew me away. Then I went to Africa.
You are such an interesting man. And like somebody just called me an onion last week.
Yeah.
As a compliment. And I'm going to call you an onion.
Like layers?
Like, he was like, you're such an onion. Cause he's like, you have a podcast too? Like whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dude, you are like surprising me. I knew this would be a better interview than I expected. I was telling Josh, I'm like, I know tonight is going to be better. I don't know. I just had that feeling like I haven't really heard everything, and that there's going to be something unexpected and something.
Well, you can't get more expected than that when you're seeing literally a
sick,
supernatural. Man. You're seeing
bro. I gotta tell you,
forms.
I gotta tell you, you are such a master manifester.
Things are happening.
Like that's why I'm asking, because I'm trying to inspire other people to go. Wow, like you said, if you can do it, why not? If I can do it, that's why I'm doing it. That's why I tell people I have frozen up on the podcast, going, oh, I forgot what I was saying, and then I just go, fuck it, just go with it then.
Yeah, just
and by the way, see, it's okay. You can freeze up, and it's okay. You can just not know. Oh, that's why I'm asking. Like, it's not like you know, you didn't know exactly what you had to do. You just were going, man. You're like, hey, why don't I travel around and inspire kids all over the world and tell the story? And then you happen to be going to places that match the story, where they're like, you know, and
learning cultures. Right. I would never imagine, like Greek. Greek is a hard language to understand. I learned so much.
It's like like with whiskey and cheese, and wine, you gotta age it a certain amount. It's like you're adding spices and experiences and aging yourself while you're promoting the book. When you get properly aged, the book will explode. That's what I think. Because you're so persistent.
That's happening now. That's happening.
It's gonna overflow, man. The dam is gonna break. And you know what I'm gonna do, man? I'm gonna read the book to Felix, because he's been learning Russian, but now he's gonna turn 3. So we've been kind of like doing Russian more, but now I'm speaking more English to him. But I should start reading the book to him, and that way I can kind of read it too, because I wanna give you my full review next time I see you.
Cool. I love it. Well, that's a segue to walk into. The books are at California State University Northridge. The first Afrofuturism class is book 1.
Wow.
You see this Real Black Men Read Literacy Project?
Wait, you're the first in the series.
The first.
Wow.
Yeah, with Dr. Cedric Hackett. And
amazing, man.
We're doing a groundbreaking program from CSUN to Arusha, Tanzania, Africa, with Golden Aya. Is this group of Zana, Solomon, and Maya. Solomon went to California State University Northridge. He moved to Africa. He wanted to create a program. So right now, actually, kids are learning how to code. They're learning English. They're learning so many great things, science, and a little bit of that stuff is in this book. And actually, they're learning English through this book, because it talks about, what is bullying, all those different topics. And we're planning on going there next year. And that's a documentary in itself. And book 2 will
Leonard, by the way, I gotta interject real quick that you need to get Jason involved, man. I think you should talk to Jason Lee, the art guy. Remember?
Yeah.
Jason?
Yeah.
Have you talked to him about it?
We talked. I have a lot of things developing right now. Yeah. I'm talking to producers. Actually, a pretty big investor I spoken to last night. Things are developing.
Let me tell you why I'm saying it. Only because he is such an amazing illustrator. So I'm just curious if he connects with it and goes, and then that's going to be up to you. You should pick, because I think the illustration's so important. Like, I'll tell you, my 3-year-old, almost 3, was like really drawn to the pictures.
Yeah. I remember.
And then he was a little disappointed. I got to be honest. There was no
it's not a picture book.
But I'm just saying that the visual is so important.
Yeah.
And like having
I'm working on that. A lot of things are developing as we speak. I can't talk about big.
Awesome, man. Hey,
this is a $1 billion franchise.
Yeah,
literally.
Can I tell you too? And this is not meant to be like this is meant to be inspirational.
Yeah.
That I don't think I'm alone, that I underestimated you a little bit. And
that's why
I'm underestimated a lot, by the way. So I'm used to people underestimating me, thinking, like this bearded dude, like they don't, I'm a CPA, I got an accounting degree, all that. I have a lot of corporate experience, but so I'm used to that. It's kind of cool, like, because then you get to see what people think, and then you can impress them later. But I'm saying let me tell you why I'm telling you. Want to just be real with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling you. I'm telling you because I think it's so inspirational, and it's exactly what you want to do, which is, hey, go ahead and underestimate me for the first 15 minutes we're talking, because we're just, hey, and then, hey, I have a book. Okay, that's all on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you start really opening up, then you've got all this depth to this. Like there's a passion behind it that goes back to like, being treated unfairly and your upbringing, and also allowing people to have somebody to emulate, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And giving that back to other kids that might need that. Because it's so powerful if they see that one person they relate to that can inspire them to be their best. And so like there's so many layers, plus, the things you're doing, the literacy project. There's probably like 20 more things, I'm sure.
There's a lot of things that
you should mention.
Yeah, but that's what I love about it.
But I'm saying good for you, dude, that you have that and you push through that. Like it's better. It's not that you're not impressive. If you were intimidating, where people go, oh,
no,
and you're not. That's what's cool. You just you come across like, hey man, I'm just chilling. I'm a regular guy.
Saying, that's how me and Dr. Chill kind of connected.
Man. It's going to inspire a lot of people to go, hey, you know what? If Rick can do it, I can do it. And if Leonard can do it, I can do it. Because we're just regular people.
We're just regular
figured out, oh, this is my passion. I'm just going to be persistent about it. And if I keep doing it, I'm just going to keep getting better, making it better, figuring out how to talk about it better. And then boom, it's going to just, at some point, the cup will overflow, man.
Well, I was going to say, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly. I made the mistake of not talking about it when I was younger. Don't make that mistake, man. If people want to take it like arrogance, that's fine. But if you're just speaking the truth, yes, people name drop. But okay, if you're going to a job interview, you're name dropping the company. Hey, I worked for Disney. I worked for Warner Bros. Whatever. That's not name dropping. You're just saying, hey, I've worked for companies that are on a certain level and I succeeded there. So you saying, hey, I worked with Steven Spielberg, or I had this responsibility to do X and Y and I started an organization. I don't think that's like arrogance or name dropping.
Yeah, or ego. Yeah.
You're basically letting people know, don't you want people, because you're holding back probably, I didn't understand the depth of these books. Because I'll be honest with you, if I could.
I kind of figured that out.
I met you about 3 times. I told Josh, I met you like 3 times at different occasions. You always remembered me, right? We didn't remember each other's names. That's fine, because I don't care about that. I don't remember names.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? And because you're persistent, so I'll give you that, within the first 3-4 minutes, you're talking about the books. I'm thinking like, all right, he's selling, and you should always be selling. They say that. Always be selling, right? Always be selling. Always be closing, right? Here's the thing, though, Leonard. You weren't necessarily talking about you as much as, hey, I got these books. I'm trying to get this out. Check it out. Here's the website. Here's my card. But if you would have talked about you and we just connected on a personal level like we're doing now, I would have been like, dude, what do you do? And then you'd say, oh, I got these books. And I'd say, what are they? Like, oh, it's based on like my upbringing. And it's just maybe feedback or just something to know. And it's nothing good or bad, man. I'm just like, I guess like in a good way, blown away. And I told Josh, I'm like, it's going to be something I'm not expecting, because we never really, because you are trying, you're resilient and you're hustling. And so you always got your books with you. You always talk about them. You always bring them up, but it's really about you. You got to share your story, man. You can't hold back. It's time to, because the floodgates are opening because you're opening. You're being you. You're doing things that are way more authentic than ever before. And maybe to some seem crazy, but that's because they're just not on the level that's like, oh, I'm traveling the world. People go, what is he doing? Is he still selling those books? Is he still talking about those books? Oh, Leonard, probably you've had people say that to you just to bring you down a notch. No?
Well, not really. If they do, they probably want to say it. And 2, I think maybe they are probably in a sense intimidated because they never done anything like that before.
Man. It is intimidating.
But to me, I'm being me. Like I said, I'm Forrest Gump. I'm just me. I just love what I do. That's it. And
I kind of like you leaning into the Forrest Gump thing, because what Forrest Gump symbolizes to me, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know that you're a lot smarter than Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
But you're leaning into the fact that you stood out, you were different, you didn't fit in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's self-deprecating. Don't forget the cannoli, by the way.
Yeah.
It's self-deprecating. Okay. And I think it allows people to approach you and not feel like they don't know you. Like the more you show yourself, your vulnerable self, like the more people will want to be part of what you're doing.
Well, that's happening now. Everything is timing too, because when you write something like this,
everything is timing, Leonard. Like when you're right in the middle of like a really great interview, the cannoli jumps in the scene. Cannoli, come here. Let's embrace this moment, Leonard, because we're not pin your thought. We can always edit this out, or maybe let him out. Maybe we fight through it. He needed to go to the bathroom. Come here, cannoli. This is why we need a studio, man. Look, let's banter a little bit.
Yeah,
let's banter, but put a pin in it. Don't forget where you were, cannoli. Shh.
Put it this way.
Sit. Cannoli, come here. Sit. He's gonna calm down in 1 minute. Watch. Cannoli. Okay, we forgot you. Josh, how many times I gotta tell you? Don't forget the cannoli, man. Cannoli, come here, baby. Come here, baby. I love you. Come on. You want to interview Leonard? He's mad that I didn't get him included on the interview, man. This is what happens, Leonard.
He's like a 2-year-old.
See, I knew this would happen. That's why I wanted to let him out earlier to sniff you out. So if he did leave, he'd be good. Now he just has to bark at you for a little bit because he's a little upset.
There's some attention.
He's a little upset, Leonard. You come over, you don't say hi. You know what I'm saying? Cannoli, sit. Cannoli, your hour is over, dude. Come here. Good boy. Come here, baby.
No, when you're saying that, a lot of people.
Come here. Come here.
I can honestly tell you, it's timing.
Yeah.
Because my mentor even said that I'm ahead of my time, which I know. I don't even. Now I own it. I never really thought about it. That I'm gonna tell you a story that I am, like I told you. You can Google anything Atlantis. Anything is like black and multicultural. I created it. Even Aquaman. Aquaman was a blonde and hair, blue-eyed dude. Now you have Jason Momoa. And it made me think someone read my book. But I was a big DC, not Aquaman, Batman and Superman fan growing up, like Richie Rich. I remember reading. So when I had my book signing at the Grove, I had literally put flyers all around Warner Brothers. And someone's telling me, you know what? One of the producers probably picked up one of those flyers, like, you know what? Maybe we should have a biracial Aquaman.
Right.
I thought that's kind of funny. And when I did Comic-Con in San Diego, when I premiered what the characters looked like, I was telling you with Alan and Emily, where's that picture? You know what they showed the next day? I mean, there was all kind of parties. They had Wonder Woman 50th anniversary party across from me. I went there like the day before, like the big Comic-Con parties, because Comic-Con is like the biggest thing in the world.
Oh yeah,
all the big films. The next day after we did our thing, they had the panel for Justice League, showing showing the trailer what Aquaman looked like. I was like, interesting.
Right.
Kind of had dreads, blonde streaks, but still totally different. Like,
was he? He wasn't biracial though.
Who?
The
the Rich was never biracial.
Yeah.
So that made me think someone read my book.
Interesting.
So when I go to Australia to do my thing, guess where they started filming 2 months later? Aquaman. So I've always been a step ahead. I just don't have I don't have Warner Brothers money.
Well, it's the sign that you were going in the right direction, like you said. It's not about that had to be the idea. It's just confirmation. Keep going. You're doing the right thing, maybe.
Right. Well, that's what my mentor was saying too. He laughed at it. It's like, you're ahead of your time.
Yeah.
You
keep going. You're doing the right thing.
So I'm gonna tell you another story with Anne Rice. You know who Anne Rice is? Interview with the Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I've always been connected to a higher source. So one day I was hungry. Someone just told me, Leonard, just go to the Grove barn. Go to the farmers market. I live there. I walk, and I always go by Barnes and Noble. I said, I'm having another book signing here. Actually, I did have the opportunity to have another book signing, but I had to turn it down when I hired my editor to edit the original book. And 3 said, you can't do any more book signings. Now I'm part of this. She worked on Breaking Bad. And I I saw a banner of Anne Rice said Prince Lestat, Prince of Atlantis. I was like, what the hell is this? Now as a vampire is going to be the Prince of Atlantis? I thought that was interesting. And it happened to fall into Comic-Con when I did a second Comic-Con, which is this one. I had on the back of my shirt said, I am the last Prince of Atlantis. So this is before I go to the book signing. I mean, before I go to Australia. So I go to her book signing at Barnes & Noble. She saw my shirt, her and her son. They literally looked like they saw a crown on my head. And everyone was dressed like vampires. She has a big fan base. I felt a little bit of her power, but she felt my power. When I stepped up to her, I said, you're sitting in the same seat I sat in 2 years ago for this book. I said, I'm not going to read your book. I'm going to give it to my editor. She's like, okay. I wish I had the video because it was a live Facebook feed. I wish I had a video of that. It was a book signed to me. I would never read it. Ever. So I did my thing. And when I did an interview with that, that's when someone said, you know what you are? You're a trailblazer. You're an innovator. You're actually an icon in your own right. And now I'm owning that because things are like the movie's going to happen. I already see that. Like I told you, I wrote it as a film. The score that is happening, is manifesting now. 10 years, and I remember when the interviews I had with Dr. Chill, the other person I think you were talking to. You know, it takes time.
Yes,
but I'm still embracing. I love the journey,
right?
Because every time I meet someone, they have no idea when they're like, "Whoa, you wrote this?" They're blown away. They're literally blown away because a lot of people didn't know I acted in those things in the past. I mean, I had an opportunity to work with Jenny McCarthy, MTV, and Chris Hardwick. I missed the audition, second audition they gave me. Singled Out. It was a game. It was a dating game show.
I remember Singled Out. Yeah,
I was in it. They loved me so much they actually offered me a job, and I missed the audition to meet with the producers.
So I was in the right. So what you're saying is you weren't always showing up like you do today.
Well, when you're in your 20s, you're not you know
because you didn't know. You
didn't
have your why.
Yeah, and actually, it's kind of funny. I think Australian girls are my kryptonite because I met a girl looked like Nicole Kidman in Santa Barbara. I was bragging like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to this thing. I got this audition for something." I took her. I couldn't even find a place. I passed it. It used to be MTV Studios. Used to be on La Cienega, on Laura Canyon. Where used to be like that Macy's. Park. There was like a park across the street, but yeah, I was on that. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. You're an onion.
I'm an onion, but that wasn't my right time.
Stop.
Because if I did that job at that time, who knows? I could have probably end up. Who knows? But this is the main thing.
Don't forget the cannoli, man. He's got questions.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. So, okay. Go back to fill us in more on the childhood, man. How you grew up,
the childhood, just like anybody. I played football in high school, ran track, like I said, surf, swim. I'm a Pisces. So it's just in my blood. I call myself the King of Atlantis. So this is a yin yang of a dolphin and a shark. And I had this done actually Jesse James, Julian Barbieri from Good Day LA. I was telling this story. I was so pissed off when Trayvon Martin passed away. This book has already been out. And I'm like, I wrote this story and it takes place in Miami. I know she lived in Miami at one time and he's racial profile. This is an original book. And she looks like, this sounds original. This sounds like really interesting. I'm going to see if I can get you on Good Day LA at the time. So she could send me the information to the booker. And then I used to watch the show a lot. And then she mentioned her husband at that time when she was married that he had a tattoo shop. I never had a tattoo. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to get my lantern tattoo. I went there, talked to him, gave him a book to give to Julian. And he's like, yeah, I like you. So I got the tattoo. I paid for it. When I got this in Australia. This is an orca. And this one is more of a Pacific Islander. So the guy who did it, he tattooed Elvis Presley's granddaughter the day before. She was dating one of the guys from Mad Max movie. And the back here is a crown. So literally, I am the king. So when I was in Great Barrier Reef, I said, I'm the king of Atlantis. The captain, everybody in the ship was like, okay, king. This is before they started shooting Aquaman.
You know, I always tell people you got to find if you're, you can
it's me.
You should be the king of your kingdom or the queen of your queendom, right? And you got to find out what that is. What's your why? And that's what it is. You like fully embody this, this place, this journey, this struggle. I don't know.
It is me.
Were you a water person, or it's just that the story of Atlantis made you, kind of be this like underwater king of Atlantis type person?
I'm a Pisces. I can tell you, I'm a water sign. I didn't even know this was my birthstone until actually I did the Comic-Con stuff. This is aquamarine quartz. It's just me. When I went to, I dived with great white sharks when they shoot Discovery Channel Shark Week. I literally was there.
Really?
I wanted to dive. I actually wanted to jump in the water with them, but you couldn't do it because they said the day before a woman had her hand on the cage. Said you can't have your hand on the cage. It crushed. A shark hit it. On the first dive, a great white hit the shark, hit the side of my cage, and rattled. It was like, ding, 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 ding. It was so much fun. When I come out, I have it on video. It's like, smile for the cameras to just prove you're alive. Free was like, man, you're crazy. You did that? I'm planning on swimming the orcas in New Zealand. I'm literally still putting my mind getting ready for that.
Dude,
in the future.
Here's what's funny. I got to tell you something, man. Okay. I just, again, had a little bit of a vision.
Yeah.
And I'd like to share it with you. I think it's going to be helpful. I thought to myself earlier in the interview, man, you're like the most interesting man in the world, kind of. And then you said this, like, so I swim with sharks and shark cages. Like, I don't know anyone else that does that in person. I've seen it on TV, and then I thought to myself, wait a second, you're going to like this. Forrest Gump basically became the most interesting man in the world because he was like a ping pong champ. He was
he raced marathons.
He ran the marathon. Everybody followed him like he was a messiah. Like he became the most interesting man in the world. Just I never connected it because you don't think of Forrest Gump as that brand, but that is what he just did it from a different direction. He didn't fit in. It made him tough. His mom said, you know what? Life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what
you're gonna get. Just keep on going, baby. Don't pay attention to people.
And that's what I love about Ben.
Do what you want to do. You want to be a ping pong champ? Fucking be a ping pong champ.
And that's what I love about your son, Ben.
Thank you, man. Tell me. Yes.
I love his quirkiness. I just love him being who he is.
Yes.
He owns who he is.
Thank you, brother. He's teaching me, man. Still learning. Do you know that?
Yeah.
You can probably sense I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? You're a very like perceptive person. I could tell. Like you're very aware, man. Probably because of just who you are, right? That's how you're able to like write books and dialogue. I'm gonna tell you, but what you've been through too, man.
I'm gonna tell you this.
You have to be always aware, 100% of everything going on. When you came to my house and I said, "Oh, just come right back," you're like, "I ain't going around back to no white man's house." Motherfucker, who do you think I am?
I was
I'm
never,
not stupid.
You know what? I'm not. I was never.
And I didn't even get it.
I was never like that. But the way the way things, the narrative is now.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it. And we talked about this kid, this biracial kid, was going to his girlfriend's house. The cop was profiling him because he had on like wearing all black. And then tased him in the back of his girlfriend's house. I'm like, what the?
Exactly, man. That's what I'm saying. When you said that, I go, oh shit, you're right.
I'm gonna tell you this.
I never thought of it because I haven't walked in your shoes, man.
I'm telling you this.
I've never been like called out. Like you said, you were basically called that, and I believe it in a small town because even in a large town, it happens much less in a big like LA. That's what I love about LA, man.
Yeah,
it probably happens the least out of anywhere because you go to Chicago. I've seen it happen, man. I'm traveling with my Asian friend, and 3 times on one trip, he was called out. Like, oh, you know Kung Fu? And I'm like, the fuck? That never happens in LA. So, like, when you go to, yeah, he almost did by me, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Turned out I might know. No, I don't. Cannoli. But a small town is on another level. Because you basically had to live that every day, man. That's like
Jamie Foxx talked about that in some of his interviews because he's from Texas too.
Incomprehensible,
but
man.
I'm not sure if he's a real small rural town for me, but I can tell you this book has been such a opener for me. I dated a billionaire. This book, I traveled. I mean, private jets. Meeting someone who was just intrigued when the book came. Friends with, stayed at the lake house and just party at this little club. This is in Westlake. I grew up in, like I said, Oxnard, like Calabasas area, and I literally met a billionaire. You know, and then the day I won't name the name of the company, but they're huge. It's like $13 billion company. So this book just opened doors to people because they're not used to seeing someone like me creating content like this,
right?
At that time. Exactly, so,
man. And now the timing is like better. I mean, this is the best time ever, man. People are aware. Studios are looking for diverse
Black Panther.
content.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about that today. Actually, there's a lot of things are developing.
Yes.
Like I said, I can't talk about, but I'm really thankful and blessed. And I'm gonna tell you this too. I already knew that you kind of misconceived who I was, and no offense to you, because when you call for like, can you come show up? I'm like, I'm not just gonna rush in an hour. I live like what's up, even though I wasn't there. I'm just not gonna do that.
Right.
I mean, not an ego thing. I mean, I had interviews with Ryan Seacrest. I'm just not gonna do it.
That was just an offer. That was not me thinking you had nothing going on, by the way. It was just me trying to like, hey, if you're around, come by, man. But I know it's last minute. But yeah,
I was in Santa Barbara.
I didn't underestimate you that much, man.
Oh, okay.
Trust me. I mean, we're having this interview. Not that I would interview anybody that wants to be on, man, but I know you're going somewhere. That's why I said when I get to know you, it's gonna be even more than I realized. And I think I was right.
There we go. You're an incredible, cool person.
But tell me, tell me, I want you to tell me what how you felt coming in and how it feels now, man. Like, this
feels great. I love doing this. I feel like I'm seasoned at doing interviews. This the first time I've ever done this before and showing kind of like this is your life. Giving you the visuals with what I've done. And I think for your listeners, who's going to watch this podcast, when they see this, like, wow, this man, this brother, however you want to call me, did this. He created his own universe.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying, you're a manifesting master, man. Like, you're making it happen. You're persistent. You believe in it. And
you have to be. You have to be. More people are gonna know who I am because the movie's gonna happen. I don't doubt it. It's gonna happen. But
now that I look, like I said, man, I'm just trying to be open with you because I want you to like feel how you haven't been utilizing all your power, man.
That's why
when people get to know you, and that's why you going and doing interviews and hearing your real story.
Yeah,
that's when they're gonna really connect because because it's there. I'm saying it, man. I'm saying you have it there.
The thing is, I'm bad at social media. I'll be honest, I hate social media. Posting all that stuff. I don't have hundreds of millions. I know if I'm building a team now. Once that happens,
exactly,
this will sell millions easily. And every person I know who read this book's like, this is amazing. When's the movie coming? The social media stuff, I'm just not good at because even if you flip up, you type something, you misspell a word. It happens. It doesn't mean it's misspelled in the book. I didn't think about, for instance, like, they would judge you because you're a writer if you misspell something. Like, you're human. Right. That's why you hired editors to
exactly
to proofread
it's not about
all that
being
stuff.
A grammar expert. It's about telling a story.
So the social media stuff, that's the only thing I hate. It's so tedious. So when the money comes for that,
exactly,
that
you just got to get it. Here's the thing that I learned too, like with the podcast. You can't depend on anyone else to make your dream happen. You got to do it. You have to lead yourself.
Yeah.
Until you get it to a certain point where they start noticing and they go, whoa. And that's when people start wanting to work with you. When they see that you have a confident vision, then Josh came along and was like, hey, I think we could do something. Okay, let's do it. And then he helped me get it over the hump, man.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're at another hump and we need more people, but we've created other people wanting to come on board because of what we did to drag it this far. Then the next person will come, drag it a little more, and another fourth person will come. That's what you're doing, man. And
that's actually happening.
When you have a team, like you said, the right team, though,
the right
team, to be the right team, has
the
to
right
be
team.
Like, they have to love you, admire you, get your vision. They have to be 100% on board. It's like you're sailing a ship. They better be on board, man.
Yeah, because everyone has their different. Somewhere. Yeah, everyone has their different positions they have to play because you don't want the ship to sink,
bro. And you need to have the experience and sensitivity to filter those people out, man.
Well,
let them find their own ship.
Always been.
They want to go a different direction.
Always been good that way, and I think Dr. Chill too, because he said, "Man, trademark your stuff." I mean, everything's copywritten, so trademark all that stuff is done. All that stuff is done.
But you need a good lawyer. You need a good accountant. You need a good like business partner. You need good workers. You need a good assistant. You need a good social media manager. Like, if you don't have somebody amazing in each of those positions, you're gonna have a hard time getting to profitability, man.
Exactly. You got to have
because a bad lawyer will fuck you up. A bad accountant will steal from you. A bad assistant will drop the ball. Like you're not gonna be able to make it. You're a startup, and a startup must have all A+ team members that believe in where you're going and are rowing in the same direction. If one of them's not rowing, you're dead.
Yeah,
you only got 10 oars.
I agree. That's what, like, one thing I liked about the COVID. I never thought I would create this stuff. It gave me time to think, to create outside the box, like the masks. The Greek goddess stand these shoes. The shoes and the masks sells a lot.
Wait a second. Wait, the shoes though. Yeah, put the shoes up, man, because. Like, I swear to God, because I didn't know. Yeah. I was like checking the shoes out while you were talking. I'm like, dude, this dude is like, I feel like you're upgrading your style every time I see you. Is that just something, because I just didn't notice?
I'm always thinking,
were you always this stylish? Huh? Were you always this stylish, or have you been upgrading the last few years?
No, I've always been this way, but when the COVID happened, I didn't know anything about drop shipping and that. But when I figured, because I actually hired some guy in China who actually worked for Nike. He created my first pair of shoes. I sold 100 of them. If I sign it, it would be $100, like $80. Now with this, I created on drop shipping. Just made an order.
See, man.
So shoptlpa.com. That's the book cover, book 1.
Bro, I designed it myself. It looks better on a shoe, dude. Like the shoe is like so sick.
Yeah.
That I thought, those are like whatever Gucci. I don't know what.
It's mine. It's my creation.
Very nice. Are they comfortable?
Very comfortable.
And how did you make those?
I made those through the company that I found. I just I put my book cover on it.
Yeah.
I had a sample, put them on, loved them, gave them my girlfriend Nia. She loved them. So when she does her thing, she lives in Beverly Hills. When she wears like the mask or the Greek goddess Athena shoes, when she goes to get her hair done, it's like, wow, where's those shoes?
Right.
She give them a card.
Dude.
So
great idea. It's good for the book, and it's actually like probably something that can sell on its own, man.
Tote bag is summertime right now. They have the.
You're a machine, man.
Hey, I love.
Leonard, you are a fucking machine. I will hire you to be my campaign manager if I ever run for office.
I just love creating.
Dude, I think I am seriously like applauding you for that, because it's such an important thing to be able to market yourself.
Yeah.
And by the way, real quick, I gotta say, man.
Yes, sir.
I was getting really annoyed with cannoli. I'll just admit it. And I appreciate that and I'm okay. I'm over it now. And I appreciate that you kept going. Cannoli, thank you for testing me.
I just remember last time, don't look in his eyes, because when the dude looked at him, that's when it was like, oh, you
right.
You looking at me?
If you come on the podcast, don't look into Cannoli's eyes. Right. He looks around too. He's like,
and he didn't stop. He was like literally like intimidating.
Are you looking at me?
So this is something I've never done Comic-Con myself. So my good friend, my Latino brother Augustine, who I love, Derek Collins, who anytime I need something done, he'll find them for me. So he's always gonna be on my team. So he found this guy, and we did the second Comic-Con with Kevin. Girls were going crazy over him when he put everything on. So this was the second Comic-Con we did. I just did him. I didn't have.
Wait, so who is this? Who Who are we looking at for the listeners out there?
Yeah, this is Kevin. He never modeled before or anything, but he's such a good young man. He's EMT, he's paramedic, and he's like, you gave me so much confidence when he did the first one, the second one. So I decided to do the third one myself, and I had no idea women literally with the dreadlocks and eyes. It's like, you know how handsome you are. I ended up in LA Weekly out of 500,000 people. They picked me out of 500,000 people at Comic-Con San Diego. That's me.
What?
In cosplay.
Shut the fuck
up. So when
you
say the sexiest cosplay 2019, that's me.
Get the fuck out.
Out of 500,000 people. So that's why I said that's tangible. So imagine the actor who's gonna play the character. So it's tangible, it's real. And I was like I said,
sexiest real co-play of 2019.
Cosplayer. Yeah, cosplayer.
Of 2000 at Comic-Con, man.
San Diego.
Well, you're pretty fit. Oh, and you got the book. Look, always with the book,
but,
man.
But that's the only way you can identify who it is, because I have no shirt on. You know what I mean? Because the character. So that's what I'm saying. It's tangible.
And your tattoo.
Everything. Yeah, I literally embodied the character right there. So that's why I know it's tangible. It's a movie.
Man, with the beard, the hair, the eyes, the pupils, right?
Yeah.
It's like very hard to tell.
And I generally don't. Yeah, I generally don't do it. I generally don't do it. But when I did that, this lady.
Well, you're also fit, so I mean that doesn't hurt.
Well, my whole life playing football.
I doubt that costume would have gotten.
So reason why, like I said on the show and tell,
I could have got.
They chose 30 people. I mean, this Comic-Con San Diego is like. Literally, like 1 million people can be there. But this one was about 500,000 people. And I was like, wow. I didn't know they were even going to film it. And that's Augustine right there.
It's almost crazy. Like you are Forrest Gump. It's almost like, let's fact check some of this shit. Like, we're going to have to go fact check this. I'm sure it's real. I mean, but it's like, you are like,
most interesting.
I didn't expect for you, Leonard. Clifton.
Yes.
I didn't. I almost forgot.
It's all good. Hey,
Leonard Clifton. Shit, man. That's pretty good for me. Leonard Clifton, man. I didn't expect you to be the most interesting man in the world. Possibly. You would be a candidate. If someone said, Rick, make your top 10 list, I'd be like, we'll throw Leonard on there because that should be considered.
Wow.
You're traveling the world. You come from a rural town. You're unassuming, right? You have swam with sharks. You're like the king of Atlantis. You're doing, like
literally having capturing supernatural.
Look, that I got to film. See, look, camera. That that's hard for me to jump across that bridge. It might be. I'm not saying it isn't.
You could be seeing a light blending in.
Like clouds sometimes look like something. I'm just.
That's the water, dude. That's the water. I'm literally. That's the water.
It does look. Look, somebody could have, what is it called? Graphically enhanced the picture.
Nah,
I don't think you would do that. So that would
when I was filmed, I received the copy of that 2 hours later.
Yeah, where did this picture come? Like, what's the story? Why do these images? Was this in where Atlantis is supposed to be? Like.
No. That's there? You have to read the book. Like
why are they there? Do you have that in the book? The answers in the book?
I'm in the Great Barrier Reef because, like I was telling you before, Alan, Athena, they're on her yacht. She's a Greek goddess. She's a socialite,
right?
And she's like Kendall Jenner. So when I had I put the original pitch deck together, I had Kendall Jenner because she's a socialite, but she has that look of a Greek goddess. And I decided to put somebody else, the show, who could probably act in it, because you want to have actors. And Paola, she's a great actress. She's a phenomenal actress, and yeah, she's drop dead gorgeous. She could definitely play Athena. Athena La Latina.
Wait, is she maybe the new muse?
No, nothing like that. No,
right.
No. I'm dating Nia as my beautiful girlfriend. No.
Is Nia a muse? Is she your muse?
She is my goddess. She's very supportive. I'm very thankful for her.
Man. I'm sorry.
No. But what I was going at?
Yeah.
I'm just blessed, man. I'm just blessed. Sometimes I do get hard. I'm hard on myself sometimes.
Yeah.
For no reason at all, but just things just organically still is occurring. But like you said, you got to have your right team, and literally, I'm still to this day have someone's trying to sign me, publishers. They're not the right ones.
Nope.
When I have my friend Derek check them out, it's like, dude, no. They're like, a lot of them from like China.
Good for you, man.
And they still call me begging, literally begging to sign me. And I know the contract's not right.
You're doing the right thing, man. Proud of you for that. No, really, because I would hate to see you come this far. And this is like your baby. You can't possibly.
I'll never sell my soul.
It's different. It's not like you go, oh, I invented an ashtray and you're just trying to sell it off.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this is like your baby. This is, you have to keep creative control. You might write other books that you could like give away and say, yeah, do what you want with it. Right?
So the Soul Reaper.
Yeah.
So it's a girl that fights Grim Reapers. And I thought about it. A friend of mine said, you know what? You should write a book with white protagonist characters. I was like, well, I already had the story in my mind. I said, you know what? I'm going to create it.
For commercial purposes.
I'm going to sell it. But what I tied in, you have to see this is a black fairy. You know what I think about black fairies in the unicorn.
Right.
She's the cousin to Atlantis. So it ties in like Avengers.
Interesting.
In a sense. So she has her own story. She's reincarnated from a past life fighting Grim Reapers where the Reaper can take souls. She can restore souls with the sight. It has that story. It's like Adam and Eve. The Italian guy moves to this town. They kind of connect. And she's the queen of Gaia. Her mom's the queen of the fairies. In this world called Daemon was fairies, sea elves, and eagle gods. And the eagle gods train Adam to prepare for this big battle. And so this Reaper virus occurs. So it's kind of similar to the coronavirus pandemic. So that's why I decided I re-edited it to add that element in it. So it's modern day.
What is your number one talent, you think? Because I think I know what it is, but what do you think it is?
My number one talent is just me. I don't know. I know I'm a good writer. I'm a good storyteller. And when I have the right team, I'll be a great director as well.
Interesting. Directing. Okay, I can see that. You're very aware, man. Very aware. I
That's
feel
so
you.
parallel what's going on.
I feel your assessment happening all the time. I am too. I'm always like assessing the situation, overthinking the situation, replaying everything over and over. People don't realize how much I do that, man.
I can tell you this. A lot of things.
Can I tell you that I was just going to say the same thing. Sorry, that's exactly what I was going to say, that I think, and I was going to ask you before we leave the subject, I feel like you are, that's your number one talent, is being able to tell a story, like to think of these stories just in your head as a movie with the soundtrack and stuff. That's like a talent that probably most people can't do that. So like, how did you figure it out? I'm curious. How did you know? When did you know?
You just know. I can't explain it.
You just knew it from the beginning? You didn't have to search for it? No,
like
from a young age, when you were 6, you're like, I'm going to write a book.
No, well, I never even thought I would write a book because, like I said, I always wanted to be an actor. And one reason I stopped acting, when I started going bald, I was like, okay, I'm not looking. So I was used to looking when I was modeling and acting.
See, we skipped all that part. Can we like tell me about how, like, leading up to how you discovered this journey, this direction? Because I think, like, in life, you need 2 things: direction and confidence.
Right.
If you don't have one of those, you're fucked. Like, if you know where you're going, but you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to get up in the morning. If you don't have a direction, you're just floating around. So like, okay, you were going to go become an actor. So like, reverse into that story.
So my first gig I ever did before I started acting while I was modeling, I was in Tupac Temptation music video. This is when Tupac was in prison.
Of course you were in
So Tupac I'm in there with Salt, Spinnerella, Coolio, Ice-T,
Josh, fact check.
Isaac Hayes. So we can watch, Tupac Temptation, boom. We pull up, I'm playing strip poker with Spinnerella and Salt. But that was such a great time because I was embraced. And at that time, it was a pantheon of those actors. This is when Jada Smith, before she was Will Smith, so Jada Pinkett, before she was dating. There's so much stuff I know about Tupac and her.
It's crazy. I want to add to the list of fact checking. I can tell you right now, it's funny, but it's also the truth. Josh is going to fact check, man. He can't help himself. He's like,
I love it.
I got to look it up. And I'm confident that everything will check out. That's not why. I want people to know, dude, like, okay, Any more? What else? Did you win a Pulitzer Prize?
No.
Not yet.
One day, thank you.
Oscar coming? Could there be an Oscar coming
I can
for
see
directing,
something. I can see something
screenplay?
I can see something in the future. So
Are you going to write the screenplay?
I'm working on that right now with the person I spoken to last night. He's challenging me to do some things because one thing I know now from screenwriting format is different from book adaptation. You got to change some things.
I read a lot of scripts.
Yeah. Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Production company, by the way, if you want to talk to my partners, just for directional guidance.
Yeah.
Like, but the script is definitely very different. Like a screenplay writer is definitely different from a writer.
So right here is Tupac. So like the video. So the guy with those standing up right here, caption, that's me.
Well, let me see. No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I know. So
he's fact checking for us.
Fact checking.
Wait, where are you?
So
yeah,
that's me right there, but you can't see it.
Gotcha. All right, you're in the video. Got it.
Yeah, I'm in the video. I'm in the video.
So you're in the but back up. How did you even get to that point? Like, you're in this rural town.
Well, I was already living here.
Yeah,
I moved out here.
Tell me the whole story, man. Like, you're in this rural town. When did you decide? You just went to college?
No, that's a long story there. I think a lot of that's going to be in my autobiography. I was adopted.
Okay.
And when I moved out here, my whole world was just different. I'd never seen the ocean before, any of that kind of stuff.
Can you talk about that? Even though you're going to have an autobiography.
That's going to be after all this stuff is done.
We only have really 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
And so there's no way we're going to cover the whole autobiography. Just give us a little teaser, man, because I want to read it now. Because I didn't know. And I don't think there's anything. I just want to inspire other people that don't have traditional.
So come on, I just turned the volume down, but it's going to show like the guy takes his shirt off. That's me.
Of course you take your shirt off.
Yeah, of course I take my shirt off.
You took your shirt off in the sexiest Comic-Con. And Salt and Pepper are in this too, right?
Yeah.
So of course you got so you hung out with Tupac and Salt and Pepper.
That was my first gig.
Your first gig, of course.
That's my first gig. Isaac Hayes.
Did you stumble into the gig? You walked into
I
door,
auditioned.
like, hey sir, take your shirt off.
I auditioned. I should drive from Santa Barbara when I was going to school to LA like 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
Auditioning.
All right.
Probably after my 100th audition, I get that gig.
Cool.
Then after that,
interesting.
I was doing some print modeling from there. I did something with Carl Kanai. He's an icon. He started hip hop fashion. Tupac started wearing his clothes. I'm not sure if you heard of Carl Kanai.
No.
Okay. Yeah. He's huge.
Assume I haven't heard of anybody by the way.
Yeah, he's huge.
I am also Forrest Gump, but in a different way.
Damon Jordan from Shark Tank promotes the book on the website. Met him a couple times. He's a Pisces too, real cool guy. No, it's just been, just interesting. I just know when I was younger, I used to be really hyper. So at the time, some people probably didn't know how to decipher my energy,
right?
So to speak. But as I became older, started writing, all that energy poured into here.
Describe yourself as a young man. Were you awkward? Were you nerdy? Were you? Cool?
I was nerdy. I talk fast.
Do an impression of yourself when you were 15.
Oh, hey, where are we going? We're going to go to the store. Want to get something to eat? You know, that kind of thing. I was just kind of like Speedy Gonzalez, just like. Blah, 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 blah.
Were you picked on?
No, actually, I used to break up fights.
Yeah.
I was that guy. It's like, why are you fighting? Right. I might hit a punch.
You were the defender. Like,
I was the defender.
Guys, like you were the reason. Reason.
Anytime someone fight, even when I was like a kid in Texas, I would see 2 kids fighting in the playground. I would run. I could be on one side of the front. I would run. I was like, stop it.
Why? Why is that?
Because you shouldn't fight. I don't know. Some of mine, you shouldn't fight.
But why? Like, what did your mom? Who taught you that? Why did you think?
It was just, I don't know. I just didn't like seeing people fighting. I just didn't like it. I wouldn't do that now. Yeah. Someone might cut you.
Right.
You know, just like with James. Remember at the park, some guy was beating up his girlfriend. James broke it up, and then people were watching, and I don't get that.
That's why Dr. Chill is having him be security for the launch party Friday.
Yeah. Yes. Dr. Chill invited me, but I always been that guy. But I wouldn't do that now.
What were some of the defining moments in your childhood, that you remember? like that, like whatever formed you to become this person that you are now?
I can't explain it. Like I mean, I can tell you. Even this, I'm gonna trip out. That's gonna be in my biography. I saw a Grim Reaper as a kid.
Tell me about
black robe. I used to sleep in the living room.
How old were you?
Probably like 6 years old.
Okay.
So in a rural town, live in a trailer house. I sleep on the couch, and it was like this guy who's go to work. The light used to hit the window. It like illuminates like in the living room while I was asleep. And I used to be so scared because some kind of entity was in this trailer house. Used to slap me, hit me, that sort of stuff. Back then, it's all kind of movies now. Back then, people thought you were crazy. So one particular time when this guy had left going to work, I was just like this, cover over me, little sheet. When the light hit, I saw her sitting in a chair, just like we were, just something in a black robe, just like this, just staring. But you couldn't see the face. It was a Grim Reaper. It didn't dawn on me till after I wrote this book that everything I wrote about is I witnessed, or I seen as part of me.
Are you sure it wasn't just like a figment of your imagination? Like as a
at
child?
6 years, at 6 years old, could be, but I don't know. But then when I left, moved to California, then things started occurring to my little sisters. I remember hearing like a growl, like a demonic type sound. You see this stuff in movies, like I experienced this kind of stuff. It's kind of crazy. That stuff doesn't exist now.
Right.
But back then it did. And I think when you're kids, one thing I did learn, my great grandmother say, look, there's a Cherokee saying, "You're born with a veil." I'm not sure if you know what the veil. I mean, you can actually, the spirit world can see you, like Sixth Sense kind of thing. And I was one of those kids at that time. Now it's turned off. The reason I was able to turn this on, literally, when I started thinking about it, that's when the floodgates of these characters came to me. Literally, like speaking to me. It's like, psh. And that's why I heard all the great writers I was telling you about. Anne Rice talked about it. Tommy.
How do you tap into that?
You have to be in a space. You have to be in a meditative type space, and you just kind of just think, and it occurs. Like you said, you manifest. A lot of things I can think about, it'll happen. I'll give you an example. Not too long ago, I was just thinking about, man, I'd never been, since probably when I was like 28, racially profiled by cops on PCH, this little Dudley Do-Right little cop. Saw me driving. I was going to graduation or something. He thought I didn't have a seatbelt on. It's like, where are you going? Like real aggressive. I'm like, dude. Soon he heard my voice because I sound like a white guy. I'm like, dude, I'm a struggling actor. I'm driving a Humpty. I'm going to my sister's graduation, a friend's graduation, something. He was like, he just got in the car, just kept going. It just diffused him.
Right.
So
did you know you're gonna diffuse them like that?
No, I'm just being me.
Yeah.
Anytime someone heard my voice, I would be
so cool,
around
man.
friends.
I love that you know that and you're aware of that, and that you're so self-aware, even though, like you said, maybe you were awkward growing up, which I was too, by the way.
Yeah.
Man. I'm not judging it at all. I'm just saying the reason I ask you is because so many of us feel that and we just don't admit it, that we're awkward and we don't know what to do because we don't know ourselves. You know?
Yeah.
So that's why I love that you shared that. But the fact that you're so self-aware, and just because you're awkward doesn't mean you're not self-aware.
I'm very aware. Even someone can have a really...
Not that you're awkward now, because now you figured out a way to put yourself together. Like, look at the pants, look at the shirt. I'm just being complimentary because I'm thinking it and I'm sharing.
Thank you.
You definitely like leveled up over the years, obviously, from when you were like a 15-year-old kid.
Oh yeah, I had another.
Me too, by the way.
Yeah,
I was wearing parachute pants, by the way. I wore parachute pants to high school when they were in style for like 3 fucking days. And I think I wore them on the 5th day when everyone's like, dude, nobody wears those anymore.
But I do.
MC Hammer?
But I'm literally surprised I even told you about the supernatural stuff with the Grim Reaper stuff as a kid. I was saving that for my autobiography.
That's okay, man.
But everything I've done is me, because you can't deny this. I know, in fact, how you were believed, but that's definitely a figure there. And it has not been docked.
I believe you, man. I'm just playing the voice of reason.
Yeah. We have to.
I don't want to be like, oh wow, it is.
You always
and then someone's gonna listen and go.
You always gonna have the
Rick. You're not even gonna ask if it's can people like doctor it. So I'm gonna say it, and you could say, I don't think you did because I don't see that being your character.
No.
I can't be 100% about anybody, but I'm just saying my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm right though.
Mm-hmm.
So people can make their own opinion. Not everyone's going to believe that it's supernatural because some people just will not believe in it.
Right. Some people are going to believe that dive with sharks.
Right. Right. Exactly. You know? So I'm just, asking the questions. I believe anything's possible, but I tend to go for like, well, if I don't know for sure, then let's not say it is. But I also know a lot of shit you can't explain, man.
You can't.
Crazy shit happens to me too. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't want to like, but it's okay. You can live it both ways. Whatever inspires you, do it. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, there could be people watching over me and I'm thankful. You know what? If you're thankful and grateful, that's kind of one of the patterns I've seen that's key. People that are grateful tend to
I thank God.
Be better. So it's like you have said in the beginning that somebody's watching over you. I'm telling you, as much as I like to be scientific or factual, I like to think. And I always half joke, like, oh, my mom's watching over me. Oh, my mom made the connection better because we were talking about her. It was her birthday yesterday. She passed away 22 years ago. The point is, I don't have to believe it in 100%, but I definitely know, like, we don't know what the fuck is happening.
You just innately know.
Of course.
And happy belated birthday to your mom.
Thank you, brother.
And I guarantee she's with you now. She's with you all the time.
I credit her with most of me, and my dad for a good part. 80-20, let's say.
Yeah. Well, women are
trying to get rid of some. No, I'm just kidding.
Women
Dad's
are nurturers.
Great, Yeah.
And
I had to unlearn some of the dad a little bit. And he's a brilliant guy, but my mom was the Gandhi of the family. Seriously, dude. And beautiful. Like Liz Taylor kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, so,
We're all blessed. We're all blessed. Lucky. I'm just thankful. Just now we're having this conversation. Now you know more about me, and it's kind of feels weird sometimes because, like you said, it's not an ego thing or whatever. This is me. If I knew how to do the social media stuff, people would be eating this up. But I hate the tediousness of gotta post a video. The last video I posted on IG's one, Chill Fest. We're Father's Day. I just put stories up here and there.
I would be surprised if after seeing this interview, whoever does watch it, it's not like a lot, maybe not that many people, but whoever does is going to connect. If somebody doesn't reach out and go like, if you don't already have someone by then, hey, like, how do I get involved? Like, I love what's going on with you. Like, can I help with your social media? It's a lot of social media people that are really good at it that don't necessarily have the vision to write a book that would want to partner with you if they knew your story. So
well, now they're hearing it.
We should actually make a clip,
yeah,
like of maybe, hey, I need you, what you need to get you to the next level, because the team is everything, and they should just know that they should be themselves, so that because it's not going to work if they're not genuinely connected to you. You're going to feel it, so they should only do it if they're like, oh my God, I love this story. I read your book. It's the fucking greatest thing I've ever. We have to get this to the world. When you hear someone talk like that, you should be thinking, how do I get you onto my boat? Where would you like to be? Like, tell me what you like, and I'm going to make it happen like that. You want that kind of people that connect with you and the book and the vision and the mission is the key. And then you go, okay, how do I fit you in? Maybe it's not today, but someday I'll need a marketing person, or someday I'll need whoever you are. They have to fit with you first. That's what I've found.
Right. Yes.
And that's how I've built the best teams that made my life the easiest, honestly, is when I found people that really connected. We connected together both ways. Like, I cared for them and made sure they were supported, and vice versa. And that's how you're going to make this the most special it can be. Is the team, like, and that's why I said that, because I really want you to succeed.
Thank you.
To like, if your plumber isn't in love with your idea, he can't be the plumber on your team. He can't be the guy that you end up getting when you have your home base. You got to, you know what I mean? Like down to that level, the assistant, the intern, and as soon as you see, hey, this isn't for them, I do this. I kindly say, hey, I love you. I think you're great. You have something special. Go find a ship with a captain that you can really follow, or be the captain.
Mm-hmm.
If you have your own, like, I don't know why you're, this Atlantis, like, I think you should do, with this other thing, well, go do it. Go do it. And I always let people like go pursue their dreams so that we can always be like kind of rowing in the same direction.
Right.
I owe it to the team, actually, because we're not going to get there. I actually have seen it, that startups don't make it. The startups that kill, like skyrocket, have all A+ players, meaning they're like in your club.
Yeah.
You have 10 motherfuckers. They better all be rowing. If one of them isn't rowing, you're dead in the water. You're going the wrong way now. We only have 10 people. We can't be like a big corporation where 80% are kind of just shuffling paper. And
right.
20% are running the thing, but 20% are still thousands or hundreds of people. You only got 10. You got to have everybody really aligned with you. And that's when you're going to get over the hump. That's when Kevin Hart made it. That's when all the greats made it. When they finally figured out their team, and then everything clicked, dude. Yeah. Kevin Hart picture. Yeah. Of course he has a picture with Kevin Hart. I'm just saying, what a fucking great way to end this damn show.
Great guy, too.
You have a picture with Kevin Hart when I just randomly said, like, Kevin Hart made it when he had his team. And I bet you if you asked him that, he would agree 100%.
Yeah, he has a great book.
He's great.
Yeah,
he has a great obviously
book.
One of
that.
He's the, like, crowning jewel, but then you need the rest of the Christmas tree for it to look good. You can't just have a star. Well, it's just an ornament.
Yeah.
You got to have a tree with a trunk and branches and ornaments on it. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go. I need someone if you're a great marketer who knows how to do content for books, merch, you can contact me, Leonard Clifton Global Citizen, Atlantis fan page, or just leonardclifton.com. You can contact me from there.
Leonard, this has been fucking awesome, dude.
Bro.
Anything else?
Rick, love you, man.
Dude, I love you, and I honestly, like, genuinely have built such a, like, admiration for you.
Thank you.
I don't have to cry on every podcast, but I feel like I might end up being my MO, but I'm gonna hold it back till next time, man. When I see you like really skyrocket and go,
we're gonna be at the premiere together,
bro. Because like I said, man, I told Josh, I go, I have a feeling this is gonna be a really inspirational story, because I knowingly was underestimating you, and I told him, I go, watch, man, I know that the interview is gonna blow me away, or it's gonna be something way better than expected. And I guess since I'm saying it, I go, I'll be right. I was joking with him, and it was actually better than I thought. So I guess I was wrong, because it's even more, like, honestly, because I just feel like now that I really understand the story, if I was like your talent manager, I'd be like, you getting it, dude. Now just add more people, like, talk to Art God, because if he intimately connects with your story, like, maybe he should just watch this podcast and reach out to you and go, hey, I want to make like a beautiful icon for you, or I want to make a beautiful painting that you could take with you when you travel and have people from all over the world sign it. Wow. He's crazy like that. Like, he's out of the box like that.
Yeah. That's funny.
In a good way, crazy.
That's funny you mentioned two quick things I want to say. Yeah. That I want to have a foundation once the millions of dollars come. I want to have a foundation for foster kids. Once they age out, they have nowhere to go.
Oh my God!
I want them to go to any college they want. That's one of my main goals.
Hold on, I got to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know it's rude, but Josh knows that me and Ben, and you might have already seen it, he is obsessed with foster care homeless adults, especially because he watches these YouTube videos and channels where this guy Mark interviews and others interview foster kids that have aged out, and that 40% of them become homeless. Almost half? Are you kidding? We are failing.
Yeah, and the sad part is a lot of these people who are foster parents, whoever, their agenda is not even for the kids. It's for the money.
Of course.
It's just a body.
I used to audit the foster care and group home system in Los Angeles. My first job out of college was for the LA Auditor Controller's Office. And I was auditing the Department of Family Services. And I would go to group homes and audit people that the kids are there running around. I smelled dirty diapers. As soon as I walked in, I knew they're not fucking taking care of these kids. And at least half of the group homes and a lot of the foster family agencies were, again, either siphoning money, which we actually ran sting operations, man, with like the DA.
Wow.
Yeah. And we shut down, I shut down probably dozens of.
That's not right. And I come from that element, and I'm gonna save that stuff for my my biography too. Something happened to me. It really screwed me up. I lost my business when I started having recalls of some things. And man, that's another reason why I really want to get this thing going. When I know in this position where I have the power, I can just like any kid that I'm part of, embrace with, they're going to college. They're going to have their housing paid for. And once they become successful, they got to help somebody else who were in the same position they were in. Because that was me. The Jake and Francisco character, the Cuban kid and the white kid, they grew up in group homes. I didn't grow up in a group home, but that was me. That was me. Pretty much was.
We are failing these children. The most vulnerable children in our country are being failed. 40%, that's disgusting. 40% of foster care aged out adults, meaning 18 and over, are homeless within a year or two or some crazy number. I think within a year.
Wow.
And they interview some of them. I've seen the interviews where they're like, yeah, like I turned 18. I'm not saying it. I'm sure there's arguments like, no, there's programs they can get into. That's not really the right number or whatever. But even if it's anywhere near that, you're failing. How could you not? They're obviously probably often illiterate because they're passed from home to home and abused and don't even learn to read and write or do math or balance a checkbook or any semblance of a normal existence. Because if you are fucked up in personal relationships, how can you possibly hold a job?
Yeah.
Take orders, like you're angry. You don't even know how to talk. All you've been is kicked. You're like a kicked dog.
Yeah. I was one of those kids.
And I know so many people that went through that personally, man, that have overcome it in a superhuman way.
That's the reason why I probably had that Forrest Gump approach, like things that happen, but my mind would always be off to something else, like in another world.
Bro. Connect with Constellation Farms, please. Be the Hope, and I think Hope of the Valley. But
okay, well,
Constellation Farms. We'll talk about it again. Yeah. I'm actually meeting with Heidi next week. If maybe you want to come down, man. But I'm going to interview her. But she and her husband started this foundation. It's a teaching farm out in Springville. They just got 2 acres like 3 months ago. It's been their dream. Their daughter has Down syndrome. They are creating a place where special needs adults can go live.
You were telling me about that.
Typical adults together in unison, utilizing each other's strengths, and create a teaching farm for underprivileged humans, homeless, whoever, drug addicts to come, if they want to, free. It's not religious. It's not a cult. First of its kind. It's just, hey, you want to learn to build a shelter? You want to learn to farm?
Self-sustain yourself.
Sustainable living to get out of the hole you're in. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, but there are, I'm sure, a large percentage of people that would be like totally down for an opportunity like that. And then maybe eventually we create internships, opportunities. They can go work for like a hotel for part-time. And then once they pass a probationary period of showing up and getting shit done, I've seen people, man, Midnight Mission, they fucking hire They put people in their program and let them, if they pass the program for 6 months, they let them have a little like cubicle area they live in. Once they pass that and they stick to the curfew, they give them a little apartment. A lot of the people that run the cafeteria, they were on Skid Row, man.
Wow.
20 years ago.
Wow.
Now they're like chefs and managers, and so it's getting out of control too. So I think it's time to like really do some crazy shit, man.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I just did. I gave away shoes and books Skid Row just recently, and in the book, Athena, she actually does a literacy foundation, and she talks about to Alan like one thing once they graduate and in between college and summer breaks, travel around the world and help people homeless and people on Skid Row. It's in the book, literally.
That's amazing, man.
In the book.
So we got a lot more to talk about. It turns out it's not just a 1.5 hour podcast.
I want to say real quick, I love your compassion. I had no idea that you were doing that type of auditing work. I know Ben. I love Ben because I met him. You know, like
Ben is the guiding light, by the way, and I've said it on video. I just haven't released. Maybe someday that I said, you know what, I might as well lean into him and let me be my guiding light, because I also totally agree. He's like, why are people homeless?
It makes this is the most richest country in the world.
I don't have a great answer. That's the problem. So let's do something. And let's have fun doing it, by the way. I plan to have fun no matter what I do. So me going to we went to that event, Be the Hope, where they're making sandwiches for the homeless. Their goal is to create sustainable opportunities, though. Yeah. Not just to feed. That's good to feed. But then go, hey, anybody want to pursue their passion? Maybe somebody had a dream of being a farmer and never had an opportunity to go live on a farm. Great. Get on the bus, right? Like I'm saying, it's just doing something and it's fun. So make it fun, man. Do it how you want to do it. Do it in a podcast. Do it go make sandwiches. Go make, create awareness. Go give somebody an internship opportunity or whatever we can do. But I think there's a lot that needs to be done, man. I mean, the whole system needs to be changed. It's not working, man. Our children are meaning if we look at ourselves like we're a community, we are failing our citizens in some way. I'm not pointing it in, I'm not saying it's one or the other. It's a systematic issue of some sort. Let's fucking do some shit. I like the idea of sustainable opportunities because you can't fault that. If somebody wants to go they'll teach you to become an artist. Oh, shit. Hey, man, if you find something you're passionate about, you might be willing to give up some other addiction. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Then you have a chance. I think if you are going to, quit heroin, but you got nothing to live for, then you're not being realistic. I think you got to be we're going to ask you to quit, work with us, but is there something that could make you maybe distracted enough where you get obsessed enough where you can keep your mind off of that shit and then eventually go, God damn, I like this, which I know that happens a lot. Somebody discovers gardening. All of a sudden they give up heroin and they go, I don't want to give up my spot here. They get a little plot and they make their own whatever. The person had a green thumb and didn't realize it and gave up
found their purpose.
An addiction for an obsession.
Wow, Rick, I'm learning something new about you. I had no idea that you were actually doing auditing in the group homes, foster care system, and getting a lot of these assholes who's hurting these kids out, and hopefully they're in jail. These pariahs, I was one of them.
It's ugly, bro.
And I'm still a lucky one.
We would walk in and sometimes say, hey, you know what? We'll reschedule. We just realized we got something. And we would have to go call family services and go, you guys got to come and check it out. We can't even be auditing them. It stinks. Kids are running around naked, dirty.
Wow.
and mostly high-risk children that are already devastated, that are from a bad situation.
Right, right. You've been in it more than I have in a lot of sense, and I was a kid.
They don't give a fuck. And not all of them, so I don't want to paint all of them. But then see a lot. It's bad. And I know people that lived through it, that told me the stories that they probably haven't really told anyone yet.
Right.
Like how they were kept under a home and beaten.
Yeah, that didn't happen to me as much, but
Under
it was psychological
crawl
thing.
spaces, sexual abuse.
Yes.
Being imprisoned by their foster parent. Sexually abused. Not given food for 4 days.
Wow. They're in a prison, literally.
Yeah, dude. Crazy
concentration camp.
Crazy shit, dude. And then they would run away, you know.
Right. Well, they're trying to free themselves.
You don't trust anybody at that point because they're just going to give you to some other foster care, you know.
And that's why a lot of girls caught in sex trafficking,
right.
because you get these other right. low lives.
Yeah, and I don't know what the answer is.
Capitalizing on it.
But it's definitely like, let's do some movement to educate foster parents better, a better system. I don't know, emotional intelligence training, or have a way. You know what? Ben had a genius idea on video, by the way. He said, let's force, basically, like we kept going back and forth. And the idea basically was, let's almost force the kids to have a social media account so they can post like, hey, I'm doing good.
That's the smart way to go.
I'm genius. Maybe it's a private account that like, you know, DCFS gets access to, and it's like, hey, if something's wrong, you just go like that on your video. Like, we'll have a secret sign that nobody knows.
Yeah.
And the parents have to allow you to post. They can't say, and they don't know what our secret sign is. So if you like go like that, I'll know we need to come get you. And it's on video.
That's brilliant.
There's solutions, man. You just got to look at the equation and solve for X, man. You gotta put attention to it. You can't just ignore it.
Right. Well, that's why I want to be.
I guess you can ignore it. That's why I'm saying do it fun. Yeah. Do what's fun to you and help, because you get to hang out with good people, man. Do it with people you believe in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to be part of the solution in some way. Well, I think I'm doing it with the books, but I know you got to have resources, money to do the things I want to do. Right. It's gonna happen. The
team will bring you all the resources you need and all the momentum you need. That's what's gonna happen, man. Trust me. You have to trust in the process.
I do. You
already have a genuine product and story. You're done, dude. And you have talent, and that's it. And then the rest is just, you can't blame yourself if you don't have the gas for the car and you don't have the mechanic yet, and you don't have you just gotta get those. And for me, I had to go through a lot of bad mechanics to find a good one.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Most of us do.
Right.
You can't be like, oh, there's no good mechanics. No, you just got to go through 20 of them.
Yeah, got to decipher. Well,
yeah, you got to go through it's 1 out of 20. You got to find the 1 out of 20.
This 10 years in the making, and now I'm in the position where things are
10 years to get your team right. I'm not kidding. That's why if you are the best general contractor that ever lived, right? The best hands ever. It's still going to take you 10 years to become like a wealthy general contractor, because it'll take you 10 years to build a team and get through the ones that steal your clients and they don't show up. And okay, then you find a good one. You go, if you're smart, you go, I love you. Please don't ever leave. What do you want? To never leave my side. If you're smart, that's what I do, man. I'm like, when I find a good team member, I'm like, I respect them so much.
Yeah, I have that. That's
because I know it's don't if they leave me if you need to, but man, I'm gonna try my best to make you happy, because I know that if I lose you, I'm gonna have to go through 19 more people to find one like you. That's all. It's not that you need any one person. If someone denies you, you say, great, I'll just go. Yeah. I gotta go to 19 more meetings now. That's all. You don't need anyone. You don't need anyone, but you need a team, bro. So
it's happening.
It's happening, baby. I'm so happy for you, man. We have a deeper connection for sure, man. And let's probably do this again, I think. And let's figure out how we're going to work together.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on a daily. You got your kingdom. I got, my kingdom, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but like, I think there's obviously some fucking huge interconnections that are only going to, that means my network of great people that I've curated and your network of great people you've curated and are curating and I'm curating get to like work together, like Constellation Farms and all. We have great lawyers. We have great accountants. Anyone you want, by the way. I don't guard any of my relationships for good people. I just don't give my relationships to people that are going to let them down.
Right.
I can't do that.
Right. Because it reflects on you.
Yeah. But for you, for sure, man. Like if you need an accountant, a lawyer, I'll just be like, hey, there's mine. You like them? Go ahead. I don't get any kind of bump for that. I just want to help my network do well if I believe in what they're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate
sure,
it. That's why I love the
Leonard.
universe. We all come together.
If we wrap it now, I'm not going to be in total trouble with my wife. I told her 11. We're 30 minutes over, but she was late 10 minutes times 3 penalty. I think we're good, man.
Yeah, we're good, brother.
Bro, so fucking amazing. Thank you,
man. Thank you for sharing your vulnerability. I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that coming. Man. But you're a good man, and when I see Ben, when I saw you two, how you just connect, and even Rhythm Rug, I love his energy.
Yes,
he with Dr. Chill, but when Ben and Rhythm was together, Ben was playing, it was like, okay, you got 20 minutes. Just you're gonna be still for 20 minutes. Right. And he was. Rhythm knows how to interact. I didn't know he was a teacher when I watched part of your podcast.
He is quite an energy. I tell him, I go, dude, if I know you're going to be at a party, I already know it's not, I always have a good time, but I already know it's going to be a really good time because just being in front of his face and he's always just so appreciative every moment. That's what it is. Every moment he's like, I'm so happy to be listening to you right now. He's in the moment. He's so into you. He's like, wow, you're talking to me. You're telling me something. Wow, I appreciate you. Every moment he remembers to appreciate, I think is just rare. And when you run into people like that, you're just like, you get that rare energy. It's super great, rare.
And I'm not like that, but I like to have it. But I see that's why I think there's a great synergy between him and Dr. Chill.
Yes.
Absolutely. He always liked that in that moment.
They're forming, man.
So Rhythm, Dr. Chill, free, good people. Love you guys.
Love you guys too, man. This is great, man. Adding to the network every day, baby.
Yes, sir.
All right, Leonard. Leonard Clifton out.
We are out.
The king of Atlantis. Cannoli, great job. Give me 5. Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.